Coming up on CTV News, we have an in-depth look at the LSC renovation project. And what do Fort Collins locals think about the recent downtown business closures? Stay tuned to find out. Plus, we'll tell you about a proposed gun bill that would allow teachers at public schools to carry concealed weapons. All this and more, you're watching CTV News.
Welcome to CTV this Thursday evening. I'm Tom Mullen.
And I'm Kelsey Peterson.
25-year-old snowmobiler Caleb Moore died Thursday after an accident during the X Games left him in critical condition. During his freestyle final in Aspen, Moore under-rotated on a backflip and was later hit by the snowmobile. This will mark the first fatality in the 17 years that Aspen has hosted the Winter X Games.
The flu has taken the lives of 37 people this year. According to the Center for Disease Control, 80% of deaths occurred in people 65 and older. Colorado is one of the states that has been most affected. Others include New York, Pennsylvania, Utah, and Texas. We spoke with Dr. Jane Higgins to get some helpful tips.
If students would go to the CSU Health Network site, we have some entries on how to prevent yourself from getting the flu, what to do if you do get it. And there are also some links to the CDC flu site, which has endless material that's very reliable and well written.
If you experience fever, cough, runny nose, body aches, chills, or fatigue, there may be a chance that you have the flu. The best thing you can do is isolate yourself and get plenty of rest. Vitamin D plays an important role in the immune system. Vitamin D can be found in foods such as tuna, salmon, milk, and yogurt. Vitamin C is key in the first stage of a cold because it can reduce the duration and intensity of the flu. Grapefruit, oranges, spinach, and broccoli are great sources of vitamin C. Lastly, be sure to drink lots of fluids. Next up, we have your weekly weather forecast.
And how do you feel about teachers having guns? We'll take a look at a Senate bill that would allow teachers to carry concealed weapons on school grounds. Stay tuned.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
RBIs and 36 homers. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it deep back into the stands.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to CTV. The high today peaked around 40 degrees. It's still pretty chilly due to the cloud cover and the wind that was about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So things were pretty cool today. But taking a look at the highs across the state for today, things were relatively average. 43 in Denver, 41 Fort Collins, but in the high country it was in the 20s, and on the western slope it was in the 30s as well. So it was still relatively chilly. There's a winter storm warning, though, for the high country just west of Fort Collins. This will cause some snow conditions. 2 to 5 inches are expected, and Fort Collins will be experiencing some windy conditions. Temps will dip into the 20s tonight, and tomorrow will be mild with the high temperature reaching nearly 50 degrees. The wind will still be sticking around with gusts up to 15 miles per hour this time. There's a high pressure system that is sitting just west of Colorado right now that is going to warm us up. You can see it's sitting right here, and it's going to pull into Colorado over the weekend and into early next week. This weekend will be beautiful, especially for the Super Bowl game on Sunday. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. Tomorrow will be nice, with temperatures reaching about 50 degrees and sunny skies. Saturday, temperatures will reach into the mid-50s with sunny skies as well. Sunday, temperatures will nearly peak at 60 degrees for the Super Bowl. Monday, temperatures will also be close to 60, and Tuesday and Wednesday, we will get over that 60-degree hump. It's going to be a beautiful forecast for this next week. I do have a fun fact about the Super Bowl, though. The 2 coaches for the 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens are brothers. Even though they look like they're twins, they are not. And the last time these 2 brothers played head-to-head was in 2011. Tune in tomorrow morning for the CTV Ram Rise Report. For CTV Weather, I'm Kelsey McAllister.
Thanks, Kelsey. After the movie theater shootings in Aurora this summer, the elementary school shootings in Connecticut, gun control has become the focus of recent legislature. I decided to take a look at a new bill that had to deal with school teachers carrying concealed weapons. Picture this. You're sitting in the lab working on a project when suddenly an armed assailant enters the room ready to open fire. Your professor proceeds to produce their concealed handgun and easily subdues the gunman. Colorado Senate Bill 13009 is a Republican-backed bill that concerns allowing the carrying of concealed handguns on public school properties. The bill would authorize the school boards to allow employees of a district to carry a concealed handgun on school grounds if the person holds a valid permit to carry a concealed weapon. Here on campus, the policy for a concealed weapon is that students must have a valid concealed carry permit issued by a Colorado State Sheriff in order to have a weapon on campus. But even then, they cannot be stored in dining halls or in dorms.
I like knowing that, somebody has one. It's like a seatbelt. You don't put your seatbelt on expecting to get in an accident, but just in case, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Here on campus, students react to the idea of teachers being able to carry guns in schools.
I would say that allowing school boards to choose would be okay because there are probably more, some areas that are more prone to violence than others.
And I think that it would be really beneficial too because, with all these shootings going on, if a teacher has a gun, then they can stop the problem right there,
Kids are irresponsible, teachers can be irresponsible, and I think it's kind of like it's too much pressure to put on every teacher, and I don't really know if teachers should be allowed to carry said weapons in schools, especially around children.
Even though this bill was in fact not passed into law, it is unlikely that it will be the last one seen in this year's ever-growing debate on the issue of gun control. The Senate also recently rejected a bill that would require businesses to have armed security if their customers were not allowed to carry concealed weapons in the store.
Up next, the Laurie Student Center is undergoing major renovations. We'll let you know what's in store for this main on-campus hub.
Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
RBIs and 36 homers. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it deep back into the stands.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
In 4 months, the majority of the Laurie Student Center will be torn down to the ground. This is all part of a nearly 15-month renovation to bring a new student center to campus.
Students can already see some of that work being done. From our investigative team, CTV reporter Kari Pills is here. And Kari, what impact does this already have on students and campus?
Kelsey, students then find themselves walking towards the west entrance of the LSC have a detour. The south doors near the theaters are now closed and large construction equipment moves around that area that in May will be completely closed off to the community. CTV reporter Bree Hottinger and photojournalist Sean Corbett found out exactly what's going to happen.
Back to school came with a few landscape changes for Colorado State. And students now have another acronym that CSU can stand for.
It's horrible. I mean, we came here to go to Colorado State, we go to Construction State.
During winter break, renovations on the Laurie Student Center began. Construction crews dig and demolish the west and south side of the LSC. This preliminary construction is the first of nearly 15 months of work to take out the old and bring in the new.
So that's a new manhole. Believe it or not, that's how high the concrete's going to be over here.
These renovations, however, force students to find different routes around the most central building on campus.
And it sucks having to walk all the way around. And all of that is closed now. And I really don't understand why we need new LSC anyway.
It's not really a big deal, a few extra steps out the way. It seems like they, I don't know exactly what it's going to end up being. I guess that's one thing I would think that they might want to tell people a little bit more about. Not a big inconvenience, but nice to know where it's going.
Inside the LSC, students find the same old services and programs. Beginning in April, those that call the Student Center home will move here.
It'll look much different in the fall semester.
The Mac Gym will serve as a space for the new Laurie Student Center West, starting in May. Judy Menchow is the Executive Director of Student Recreation and was approached by the LSC about the space.
Laurie Student Center has partnered with Campus Recreation to make this space a viable workspace for individuals.
The LSC predicts that at least 150 people will be moved into the Mac Gym. That number does not include how many visitors the space will get each day.
We will definitely have to make some adjustments as we go through this process, and we'll learn a whole bunch starting in April and May when the move begins to take place and people will then occupy this very wide open space.
Activities held in the Mac Gym will be relocated during its alternate use, something Menchow says her staff expects to prepare for.
We use it for intramural sports, we use it for club sports practices, and we do use it for drop-in recreation. So by taking it offline, we are going to have to spread those types of programs and services out a little bit.
A big change for many around campus, especially those who will use the Student Center resources.
As a junior and a senior, I'm going to hate it, having to walk all the way over here for classes and then all the way over there for everything else.
Again, major changes in offices won't take place until after graduation. That's according to the LSC Director's Office. We have much more information on our website, including student reaction and an inside look at the construction zone now around the LSC.
Thanks, Kari. Next up, we'll tell you how local business closures are affecting Fort Collins residents after the break.
Don't go anywhere.
43,000 CSU Ram alums call Denver home. Now it's easier for Denver Ram fans to stay connected with CSU. CSU is proud to announce the new Colorado State University Denver Center, where Ram alums will feel at home. It's a place to make professional connections, enjoy events with other alumni, and even show your Ram pride with a wide selection of CSU fan gear. Stay connected with CSU, the CSU Denver Center at 17th and Glenarm. Learn more at rams5280.colostate.edu.
Shelters are the best places to find a new pet.
What a perfectly beautiful little lady.
That's where you'll discover healthy, loyal, and loving animals.
You little rascal.
Eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet.
Oh, ladies first.
Be that person. Adopt.
This is living.
Hey, kid. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Fort Collins residents have been talking about recent closures of various downtown Fort Collins businesses. I went to find out what they had to say. I'm Kelsey Peterson with CTV News, standing in front of what used to be the Beach House. Some Fort Collins businesses have recently been closing down, such as Gelazzi, the Beach House, and Armadillo. What Fort Collins locals think about those closures? I'm here to find out. Gelazzi's Frozen Gelato has been a popular hangout in Old Town Fort Collins. They have the desserts and the atmosphere with karaoke nights and late hours. The shop has recently started selling off its equipment. However, it closed its doors at the end of November. Though the reason for closure is unknown, the community's reaction is unanimous.
But it's just sad because there's a lot of people that live here, and it's, you know, a great place to have a business and be a business owner, and if doesn't succeed, it's pretty sad.
Earlier this year, the Armadillo and Beach House also closed down. So, what does it take to maintain an independent business in Old Town Fort Collins?
There is a niche for somebody that's doing something different, that has really good food and nice atmosphere.
The hopes of Fort Collins resident Kate Panetta were all about the atmosphere.
I was kind of hoping it would turn to some sort of music venue, possibly. It wouldn't hurt to have another one in town, you know, a larger size. I'm a big music person, so that's something I would appreciate.
However, the Beach House's lot has already been purchased by the Breckenridge Wine Coop Company, who plan to create another Breckenridge restaurant and brewery. While some residents are thrilled, others had a different response.
Oh, this town has enough breweries.
In the Coloradoan, according to Mike Van Buskirk, Gelazzi's Director of Operations, the Fort Collins shop is the last of Gelazzi's 3 locations to close down.
Well, that's all the time we have for you tonight.
Be sure to visit our website at ctv11news.com.
We'll see you next week.